What happens when you let an AI write every single work email you send for 2 weeks, no edits, no rewrites, just copy and send? I did exactly that, and 3 people caught on. This is what the Claude AI email experiment actually looked like. Before we get into what went wrong, let me be clear about what I was testing. I wanted to know whether Claude could replace my natural writing voice well enough that the people I work with every day would not notice a difference. The stakes were real. These were genuine work emails to my manager, to clients, and to people I have worked with for years. The setup was simple. Every morning I wrote a short brief describing the email I needed to send, the recipient, the context, and the outcome I wanted. I gave Claude my previous emails as style examples in the first few days. Then I copied whatever Claude produced and sent it without changing a word. Day 1 felt fine. The emails were clean, professional, and clearly structured. I actually thought the experiment was going to be boring. Everything looked like something I would write. But looking like you're writing and sounding like you are two very different things. By day 4 I started noticing something in my sent folder. Claude kept using specific phrases across different emails. Things like, "Please do not hesitate to reach out," and "I want to ensure clarity on this." I never use either of those. I know I never use them because I have been writing work emails for 8 years and those phrases make me cringe. The first person to say something was my direct manager. She replied to a project update email with a short message, "This is very formal for you, everything okay?" That was day 6. The email in question was 3 sentences long. 3 sentences and she knew something was different. I went back and read what I had sent. The structure was correct, the information was accurate, but there was a warmth missing that I apparently always carry in my writing. Where I would usually say something like, "Let me know if this needs adjusting," Claude had written, "Please advise if any amendments are required." Same meaning, completely different person. The second flag came from a freelance client on day 9. She sent a voice note instead of typing back, which she almost never does. In it she said I sounded different and asked if I was using one of those AI tools. I told her I would explain after the experiment. She laughed and said she had figured it was something like that. That conversation made me think about what she had actually picked up on. She had been emailing me for over a year. She knew my habits. She knew I used short sentences and occasionally started a sentence with "and," or "but." Claude almost never does that. Its sentences are grammatically complete in a way that real humans, especially in informal work communication, often are not. Here is a pattern I identified by week 2. When I am writing and I am slightly annoyed, or slightly excited, or genuinely uncertain, that emotion leaks into my word choices in small ways. A shorter sentence where a long one might go. A word repeated for emphasis. Claude flattens all of that. Every email came out at roughly the same emotional temperature regardless of the situation. The third person to notice was a colleague I have worked with for 3 years. He did not say anything in real time. He brought it up 2 weeks later when I told him about the experiment. His reaction was interesting. He said he had not realized something was off exactly, but that my emails during that period felt like I was in a hurry and did not want to talk. That is the opposite of what formal, careful AI writing should feel like, but that is how it landed. So why does this happen? The short answer is that AI language models are trained to be helpful and clear above everything else. Helpfulness and clarity push toward formality, toward complete sentences, toward explicit transitions. Real communication between people who know each other moves faster, leaves things implied, and carries history in it. AI does not carry your history. There is also a repetition problem that is easy to miss if you are only looking at one email at a time. Claude has preferred constructions. It reaches for the same phrases the way a person might have verbal tics. When you send 30 emails in 2 weeks and they all contain the same 3 pet phrases, the people receiving multiple emails from you will start to feel it even if they cannot name it. I want to talk about what this experiment taught me to actually do, because the answer is not to stop using Claude for emails. The answer is to use it differently. After the 2 weeks ended, I changed my approach in 3 specific ways. First, I stopped using Claude to write the whole email. I use it to write a first draft and then I read it out loud. Anything I would not say out loud to that person, I rewrite. This takes about 90 seconds per email and it catches almost every formality problem. Second, I give Claude a list of phrases I never use and tell it to flag or avoid them. Things like, please do not hesitate, as per our conversation, and, going forward. You can build a short personal style guide in your system prompt and Claude will generally respect it. Third, and this is the most important one, I now tell Claude the relationship context explicitly. Not just write a professional email, but write an email to someone I have worked with for 3 years, we joke in meetings, this topic is slightly sensitive. That context changes the output significantly. The bigger lesson from 2 weeks of this experiment is that AI writing tools are not voice replacements yet. They are very fast first drafters. If you treat them as a replacement for your own voice, the people who know your voice will notice. If you treat them as a starting point that you shape and correct, they become genuinely useful. The question of whether AI writing is detectable does not have one answer. It depends entirely on whether the reader knows your normal writing. Strangers probably will not notice. People who email you regularly almost certainly will, and the tell is rarely grammar or spelling. It is temperature and rhythm. If you found this experiment useful, hit the like button. It helps other people find the video. Subscribe to this channel if you want more practical, honest AI experiments like this one. Next video I am testing whether Claude can hold a consistent writing voice across a full week of social media posts, and the results are more interesting than you might expect.